Hey everyone, and welcome. So let me ask you something. Have you ever talked to yourself out loud? Or maybe overthought a big decision? Or, let's be honest, let your desk get just a little messy? Well, today we are diving into some really fascinating stuff that suggests these common habits might not be quirks you need to fix. They could actually be signs of a highly efficient and high-level mind hard at work. And this quote right here, it really gets to the heart of what we're talking about today. The idea is that some of the strangest things we do might actually serve a powerful purpose. Things that, from the outside, might look a little odd or even negative, well, they can have a hidden logic, especially inside a mind that's constantly juggling a huge amount of information. So yeah, we're not just going to give you a list of strange behaviors today. No, we're going to decode the why behind them. We're going to frame each of these habits as an intelligent, super practical solution to a very specific mental challenge. So, you ready? Let's get into it. All right, first up, what we're calling the self-talk solution. And the challenge it's built to solve, it's something I think a lot of us can relate to: mental clutter. You know, when your mind is just so full of ideas and data and connections that it all just gets jumbled up. So how on earth does talking to yourself help with that? It's a totally fair question, right? I mean, think about it. In movies, talking to yourself is usually shorthand for someone who's a little out there. But what if it's not that at all? What if, for a high-level mind, it's actually a super sophisticated tool for focus and organization? Well, there's actually a psychological term for this, and it's called verbal reasoning. And trust me, it's way more than just mindless chatter. It's the actual process of taking all those abstract, swirling thoughts in your head and externalizing them. You're forcing them into the structure of language, which makes them real and concrete. And here's where the magic really happens. When you speak a thought, you force it into a sequence. It has to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. It literally transforms that messy, chaotic web of ideas into an organized, straight line of thought, one that you can actually look at, analyze, and build on. It's kind of like you're running an audit on your own ideas in real time. Okay, let's move on to our second habit, which kind of builds on this. We're calling it the overthinking advantage. And the challenge it's designed to tackle? Navigating those really complex, high-stakes decisions where the best path forward is anything but obvious. Now, I know what you're thinking, because this is the common view, right? We're always told to stop overthinking because we connect it with these anxious, unproductive thought loops. And look, sometimes that's true. But, and this is a huge but, the material we're looking at points to a crucial difference between unproductive worry and really productive analysis. So this productive version of overthinking has a name: cognitive complexity. And I want you to notice the key difference here: the motivation. This isn't driven by a fear of something bad happening. It's driven by a logical need to understand the entire map of a problem. It's about exploring every single possibility to find the absolute best solution, not just trying to avoid the worst one. This chart just makes that distinction crystal clear. Look at this. Cognitive complexity, it's based in logic. Anxiety is based in fear. With complexity, the goal is to find the best possible solution. With anxiety, it's just to avoid the worst. And maybe most importantly, one feels productive, like you're building something. The other just feels draining, like you're stuck. So the question to ask yourself is, are you exploring or are you just spiraling? All right, our final habit is, I think, the most surprising one. Let's talk about the logic of the mess. And the challenge it solves is a fundamental one. Our brain power, our cognitive energy, is a finite resource. It's like a phone battery. You can't just focus on everything all at once. I know. This totally turns conventional wisdom on its head. We've all heard that phrase, a cluttered desk reflects a cluttered mind. But what if that's completely wrong? What if a messy desk actually reflects a mind that is laser-focused on its top priorities and simply doesn't have the bandwidth to waste on organizing stuff that doesn't matter? So the idea here is something called selective organization. Now, this isn't just about being messy for the sake of it. It's about a ruthless, strategic prioritization of your mental energy. A high-level thinker might have a desk that looks like a tornado hit it, but their digital filing system is perfect, or their project schedule is planned down to the minute. Why? Because that's where the organization actually helps them meet their goal. And this chart here, it shows you exactly what that energy budget looks like. A massive chunk, look at that, like 70%, goes straight to the core projects, the big ideas. And the trivial stuff, like making sure the books on the shelf are perfectly straight, that gets a tiny sliver. This isn't about laziness, it is pure efficiency.
It's about consciously deciding where to invest your limited mental budget to get the absolute highest returns.
So, when you start putting all these pieces together, what do you get? Well, you get a picture of a mind that's just built a little differently. And it kind of redefines intelligence, doesn't it? It's not just about raw IQ. It's also about the incredible ability to build these effective, personalized systems for thinking and for getting things done. So let's just quickly run through the powerful solutions we've decoded today. For that problem of mental clutter, you've got the verbal reasoning system. For navigating those super complex decisions, you've got the tool of cognitive complexity. And to manage that finite battery of brain power, you've got the strategy of selective organization. So here's the big takeaway from all of this. These habits that might look like flaws from the outside, they're anything but. They're highly efficient, totally customized systems that a high-level mind creates to manage information, make the best decisions, and save energy for what really, truly matters. They're signs of a mind that has adapted to its own power. And that brings us to one last question that I want to leave you with. If these so-called weird habits are actually efficient, logical solutions, take a second and think about your own quirks. What are the weird but effective systems you've built for your own mind to navigate the world? The answer might just reveal your own hidden genius. Thanks for joining me.